here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite slimy, double-crossing, no-good swindler's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the SH Figuarts New Hope Han Solo, which I am really excited to talk about because there is a fair amount to talk about, and there's a fair amount of controversy surrounding this release. More controversy, I think, than I've seen in any other SH Figuarts release, maybe with the exception being a Darth Vader. So, without much further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Accessory-wise, he comes with an extra pistol and an extra holster that's empty. It's sculpted on the inside, so there's no putting the gun into the holster. Forgive my nails, I'm still working on that diorama. I did all these reviews in one day. Forgive me. But you can have it empty, or you can have him holding his blaster, and it has some nice paint detailing. It's the brown handle and then the silver accent on there, so that's nice. Conversely, there's one on his leg already, which has the gun already sculpted in. In order to swap that out, you just unpeg it, put the other one in, and put the gun in the hand. Also, in typical SH Figuarts style, he comes with an array of hands, including two of the hands that he used to fly the Millennium Falcon in the first film, which he never really got back into, like in Empire or anything. Never really wore them again. But they are sculpted nicely. They're painted nicely. It is this. It looks like it's a black base, and then the skin tone is painted on and slightly shaded, it looks like, and then the glove, the brown part, is painted on, and then all the little holes and stuff in the glove are all sculpted, and they're both in a relaxed pose. You also get two relaxed hands, both of which are shaded nicely as well, and very subtly, which I like, and then one trigger finger hand, which does hold the weapon perfectly, including the finger inside the trigger guard. It's really, really, really quite well done. And then, of course, the two fist hands that you already saw in the opening footage. All right, so let's talk about it. Over here on this shelf, I put them on a different shelf. Sorry. Adam from Nerd Rage just stopped by. Feel free to say hello.
Hello.
We're getting ready to go see Logan, so I'm trying to get through this review so that we can do so prior to him. He was really close to my face right there. So the head sculpt is a big part of the controversy, and as to whether or not it looks like him. Now, I saw photos and stuff online, and I wasn't sold on it either. Having it in hand, I definitely appreciate it. There is something off in some poses and in some I don't know, angles, but I think for the most part they did a really good job. There's also a bit of a problem that some people are having where the nose is smushed in. Here in the front seems to be a fairly common problem. I didn't have that problem, but I hear that if you just put it in hot water, the natural form of the nose will come right back. It's just something about the way that it's packaged. Outside of that, I don't have anything to really say about the likes or dislikes about it, with the exception of one thing. I did find this picture on the webs of Enter of somebody did of cutting the SH Figuarts face next to the real Harrison Ford face. And when I see them next to each other, I think they did a pretty good job. You could argue, actually, that the lips on the Figuarts one are a little too small, so go ahead with your bad self, Harrison. Either way, I do have one bit of issue once this camera focuses to take with the face sculpt, and that's if we can get close enough. So they're still using this digital painting method, which I think is getting good and is getting much better. However, it's still far from perfect, and it's never more obvious than on the eyes of Harrison here. It's just not crisp line work. It's getting there, but we haven't quite reached perfection yet. With the exception of that, let's talk about it. So we have a lot of that digital painting on the face, and then we have the hair, which is a brown, and then dry brush with this like goldish cover to give highlights in the brown. Some people feel a certain kind of way about that. You don't like the metallic shines, do you, in the hair?
No, it's a little much.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Luke's a little much.
What about Hans?
I mean, let me check. Let me just crash your review.
And I'm talking about Hans as in Hans Possessive, not Hans as in Hans Christian Andersen.
Let me see. Let me see that. Actually, I think that it's effectively and efficiently done here. It's just like...
Not too over the top.
Not too over the top. It's almost like no matter what angle you turn them, you feel like that Pantene Pro V is just shining through.
So, I agree. I think that and I do like it even better. I wish this would focus a bit. Good grief. I do like this better on him than I do on Luke, but the Luke doesn't bother me either. Let's move on. I think the sculpt is all good. Double ball peg from the head into the neck, and then at least a single, if not a double, from the neck into the chest, getting you a fairly limited amount of articulation, to be fair. Down to there, up to there, and then the swivel. It's not terrible, but you would think you would have more given what it is. One thing they did that was smart, among many, to be fair, is they put on this vest over top. It's a soft plastic over top of the figure. Now, what this does is it efficiently hides the need to cover up that shoulder joint. So they kind of two birds, one stone that. Nice little chest hair on this goose, too. Look at that. You know, let's bring back that day of manly men. You know what I mean?
About it, man. It's a little thin.
Well, you know, double ball peg from the chest into the torso, and then at least I'm going to say that's a double also from the abdomen into the pelvis.
Hey, let me just make one comment.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like they took his face and they merged like 1970 Harrison Ford with 2017 Harrison Ford.
Is that what you think?
I mean, I kind of feel that like they it's like kind of aged him. Is this like in between episode 6 and 7? This
No.
I mean, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's because it doesn't look bad.
Okay. So the other thing that we have to talk about is the sculpt work on the tunic, which I think looks good, and they have the collar. All that works well, and articulation-wise, great range, no issues whatsoever. Sculpt work on the vest is all nice too, to include those things. What are those things? Who's he keeping in there?
I think it's a floating device in case you fall in the water.
Nobody knows. And then we have a ball hinge shoulder to a ball peg inside of the chest that gets you out to there. It gets you a little bit across. And the swivel. No bicep swivel, but you do get it at the shoulder. And then you get a single jointed ball hinge elbow, which gets you a little bit past 90 degrees. So that all works well as well. Wrists are on a swivel and then a hinge swivel here. So you get everything you could possibly want out of your hands. And I feel like there's something else I wanted to mention about that, but I can't remember it now.
Does he have a sexy hip?
A sassy hip?
Well, it's Harrison Ford, so it'd be sexy.
Well, you can,
Yeah,
not too bad.
disco.
Very disco. I'm trying to think. I think there was something else I wanted to mention, but I can't remember. Okay, so another thing that they did that was pretty clever, I think, is I think this piece here, this soft piece of plastic for the strap that holds the pistol, is actually continuous, and it goes in here and then out here, so it's like one loop almost. And what that does is it allows you to articulate the leg, and this just adjusts. So this comes out of the back of the figure, and then as you put it into position, the one thing that you have to do is kind of resort it back in, but it's not that big of a pain. I just wanted to point that out before we move on. Nice silver paint here, black paint, blue paint, all that stuff. All the accents on the belt look good. I do have one little overspray there on the belt onto the pants, but that's the only real paint imperfection I've been able to find. Red stripes down the side of the pants look spot on, picture perfect, no issues there. We're going to look at this leg for articulation, and then I'm going to talk about this leg. So as you saw, you get all the way out to 90 degrees. And all the way back, you have to sort that gun. A lot of people are complaining about that gun. It doesn't bother me. For the sake of reviewing, you know, it fell off, but I haven't had that issue since. You will have it if you try to get the leg to go back, but who's going to have the leg going back that far? It's not going to happen. And then you get out to the side, it's fairly limited. Not the worst, but fairly limited. So the reason why I didn't show you on this leg is because this leg, like we've been talking about recently with SH Figuarts, has been having a little bit of joint tolerance inconsistencies. This leg is scary tight. I feel like if I keep messing with this leg, which I've done a few times now, I am going to break it. Listen. That's how tight it is working around that ball peg. Very scary. I'm not sure, you know, it's probably an individual results will vary, but if yours is that way, use extreme caution. All the wrinkles in the pants are sculpted nicely. We have a knee, ball hinge, gets you 90 degrees, works well. Boots sculpted nicely, the wrinkles and such look good. Ankles, I think it's a ball peg. I think it might be it. I can't tell though. It's at least a hinge. I think it's, I don't know. Either way, you get ankle tilt up to there, so not the best, but not the worst. Let's get it to focus. And then back to there, so that's good. And a toe hinge, and then you get a pretty decent rocker out of her too.
It's definitely a decent rocker.
Yeah, so that all works really well. Like I said, not perfect, but pretty daggone good. Real quick, there he is next to the Black Series figure. Not trying to compare them in the sense of quality. One's $20, one's $60. There should be a difference. Just trying to show you what the two of them look like and would look like on your shelf. And for me, You know, it's that old, you know, you get what you pay for. And I think this is a well-done figure for $20. I think this is a well-done figure for $60. And I just prefer the look of the $60 one. And then for the sense of size comparison, there he is with SH Figuarts Luke in a custom Jedi cloak that's pretty BA, if I do say so myself, and Black Series Chewbacca. So I think he works extremely well for both. And most people are going to have him displayed with either one or the other, at least until the SH Figuarts Chewbacca comes out, and rest assured, works well with both. Final thoughts-wise, all I can say is I love it. Let me talk about the negatives first to get them out of the way. They still haven't perfected that digital paint scheme application to the face. They're working on it. It's still good, but it's still not perfect. It still gets fuzzier the closer you get to it from a distance. Like I say, this camera's about 14, 15 inches away from the figure. You're not really picking it up on the screen there. You zoom in, you're going to see it. My second complaint is the joint inconsistencies. That is something that they need to sort out. I started noticing it about 6 to 8 months ago, and it's kind of, for the most part, it's been problematic across the way. Every now and then, like the turtles were fine. There was a couple other ones that were good to go, but for the most part, most of them have had a few joint inconsistencies. Outside of that, I think it's great. I know a lot of people are saying, like, man, like they really dropped the ball on this one. I don't necessarily know what they're talking about. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but my opinion is that it is definitely worth it. Definitely a fantastic figure, and I'm partial. You know, Han Solo is definitely my favorite Star Wars character, and truth be told, I wanted to be him when I was a kid, but I think they did a great job. I think it embodies the character. I think it gives you the feels. I think the articulation works across the board. I think the paint is fantastic. I think that the sculpt is beautiful. I think that sometimes the head sculpt, you know, from certain angles looks a little off, but I think that's also a problem because of how well you know Harrison Ford, and you don't necessarily just know him from Star Wars. You know him from other movies, Indiana Jones, Get Off My Plane. You know him from a lot of different pieces of media, and what he necessarily looked like to you in your mind's eye isn't necessarily what he looked like in Star Wars on screen. That's not to say that I think this is perfect in that department. I don't, but I think it's pretty daggone close. So do I recommend it? Absolutely. Please pick it up. Chewbacca is coming, and I really wish they would jump on a Leia figure, because Lord knows that's the one Hasbro figure that definitely needs to be replaced off my shelf. I love this line. I love this company. I love this franchise. Do yourself a favor and pick it up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. My father was a stand-up guy. I can count on one hand the amount of times he had to put his hands on me, and I can tell you I earned every one of them, and I probably earned far more than the few times he had to. I was a young lad with self-control issues out the wazoo. One of those times was shortly after Christmas one year, when he asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told him I wanted a members-only jacket. I never asked for clothes for Christmas. It was always toys. So I think in my father's eye, it was kind of a two birds, one stone situation. Gets to buy one gift, but it was something he was probably going to have to buy in some regard. Maybe not a members-only jacket, but some sort of jacket for the springtime. So he got to buy the spring shopping early and give it as a Christmas gift. Win-win. A couple days later, I came downstairs, and I was so proud of myself, and I thought that he was also going to be so proud of me and recognize the ingenuity and the kind of pre-planning that I had done in my head to make something worthwhile. And I had a white turtleneck with blue pants and shoes, and my Han Solo holster, which I had kind of made out of an old cowboy gun, the kind with the silver gun that had the caps in it, and had that on my hip, but I had the Han Solo blaster in the holster. And I had the members-only jacket, and I had cut both sleeves off the jacket so that I could have a vest. And I came downstairs like, huh? Huh? Who's impressed? And he beat the dog shit out of me.